Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
Do you really know your clients? Yep, I might be joking about all of this, but knowing who you're going to be selling to can actually make a difference, in how you can create a business that's profitable and enjoyable. And I can understand as a business coach, a consultant, or a lawyer, or accountant, if you don't really know the clients that you're going to be working with, it is going to be very difficult for you to actually reach out to them and understand what it is that they might be seeking from you in order for them to buy your services. And I can understand, as a business coach or consultant, you're probably maybe sending out cold emails out there or cold calling potential clients and having them maybe hang up in your face simply because you don't know who you're reaching out to and what it is that they're going through that might actually need the services that you're putting out there. And you might say, you know what? I did my whole client avatar. I already know who I'm speaking to. I already know what my clients look like. Let me ask you this. Have you ever found it awkward, especially when you're working with your coaching clients, that you start sensing a level of maybe unfamiliarity or there's a distance between you that actually prevents you from assessing their personal challenges? Or do you notice that when you start talking about certain topics, people sort of start, being resistant either to you as a person or to the virtues that you represent? And don't you think that knowing your customers better would actually make it easier for both of you to relax, especially during maybe a consulting session or a coaching session? And if you actually understood some of their struggles, you literally would be able to open them up and actually help them get good results. Now, I understand, if you're putting your consulting, your training, your information, your expertise out there, we're all striving to create loyal clients that actually pay, stay, and refer. We want those type of clients that actually visit us, without fail, maybe, every month or every third month, or buy from us, especially not necessarily visiting, but we want people that buy from us consistently, because that's how we actually make a profit. And that's that can only be created when people are loyal to you. And we all know that people do business with those that they know, like, and trust. And if you've got loyal clients, they're easier to serve and they tend to buy from you more often. Most importantly, you now create from them regular guaranteed income. Now, this topic actually came about over the weekend while we were at a 1-year-old's birthday party. Can you imagine, of all the things? And I was talking to this landscape dude who was just talking about, we're just coming off of winter, and so things have been a little bit down in terms of there's no work, during winter. And I was like, don't you have contracts with your customers? Don't you, have some sort of arrangement that you can do work for them on a regular basis, and they pay you some sort of a retainer? And he was dumbfounded when I mentioned things like that. And I'm like, wow, is this news to you that if you would create some sort of a subscription model within your business, you will actually have an opportunity to be paid even during the quiet times where you're not having any work for your clients, but because you've got an agreement with them, they will continuously be paying you, and you can just maybe go there, rack some leaves, help them touch up their gardens in time for when spring and summer comes in and the flowers start to bloom. All right. And he was thinking, oh, wait a minute, I haven't actually thought about that. And I'm like, look at this, man. You can literally be paid throughout the whole year and you won't even notice, any of these downturns or any of these seasonal gaps if you actually have clients that are loyal to you and that are actually subscribed to your service. And wouldn't that be nice? And obviously, that of course is a dream for even some of the coaches that we have, when they're in between clients and they don't know what to do with themselves. Okay, and it's not uncommon. I mean, obviously this is something that you're probably going through, and you just listening to that part of, oh my god, I didn't actually know I could get people onto some sort of a subscription, can actually cushion you during all the times when it's quiet and you don't have anything going on in your business. And you may actually find yourself being so busy at times with maybe people during certain times of the year, and certain times of the year you're very quiet. And if you want to even that so you don't have an ebb and flow, this could be something that you could actually incorporate within your business. But that's not what we're talking about. You can only get to that stage when you literally know exactly who your client is and what it is that they want from you and what they will be happy to pay for you consistently with no questions asked. You know what I mean? And you may find yourself so busy, maybe with just multiple of accounts at your time, with maybe one or two people that are paying you consistently, but you want to make sure that you have that with all your clients across the board. And wouldn't you rather be doing that with people that you utmostly love working with than people that you can't stand? So that's the reason why you really need to know, what your clients are going through and what it is that they actually need from you. Because if you're a coach or consultant, you're definitely working with people from across the board. You're working with executives that are time limited. You're working with C-level leaders. They're busy too, you know what I mean? And you want to know how you can reach out to them. You want to know how they want to consume your content, and you want to know how you will be able to actually connect with them at a level that they will trust you as their trusted advisor. You know what I mean? Then that would actually get you to understand exactly what you need to bring to them that will make them want to pay you consistently with no questions asked. Okay, we all strive to be looking for new clients. Okay, so what if you're actually now going to be using the ammunition that you already have within your business to go and look for the clients that you absolutely love working with? All right, because if you're getting new clients, that means more income, and hopefully you want to get loyal clients that actually pay, stay, and refer. But how do you then go out and find people that you absolutely love? Obviously, you don't want to be putting out an expensive marketing campaign, maybe in your local newspaper or on Facebook or on Google, or maybe invite people to come over because you're offering a discount, or you're putting out social media advertising that is not even yielding any, new leads coming in. What other, methods would you actually do? Or how would you actually, create an environment where you're inviting the right kind of people with the right kind of pain that you absolutely love working with, that also don't mind paying you throughout? Okay, so some of the people that we will be working with it's a great percentage of maybe executives, struggle not so much with maybe just general business practices or methods. Do you know what exactly they need from you that will be valuable consistently? And half of the time, the reason why they're struggling is not necessarily, that the things that they're doing or the tasks that they need to execute are difficult. It's usually their style of working or their mindset. What are you doing to actually connect with these people and help them not become, a hazard to themselves? Maybe some of their behavior, their responses, or their decisions are detrimental to their organization, and very few of them see this. How are you as a coach or consultant going to be able to penetrate, through to people like this who are already a hazard to themselves? And let me tell you something, as a coach or consultant, Your job is to help leaders develop greater self-awareness, skills, and also enhance relationships with their employees and improving operations. Now, in all of those things, there's got to be something that you can literally go in and do consistently in order to get results for your clients. All right. So if they, you help them with their self-awareness, you help them with their skillfulness, you help them with their relationships, you help them with their mindset and things of that nature. Once you get that set, and once you actually start working with your clients to realize all of those things, guess what happens? They will start trusting you. They will start seeing the results not only in their personal life, in their business life, but also in their personal life. And when you can get somebody do well, feel well, and be better, they're gonna want more from you. And from that, you can literally create products and services that are not what you actually came to that person for. So you knowing exactly what your client is going through, walking in their shoes, will actually create more income, not only for yourself but for your client as well, which would definitely have them want to retain you as their trusted advisor, who is going to be helping them start, scale, and grow maybe a business that's profitable and enjoyable, or actually have a happier existence. Okay, so look out for things like that, and if you can spot that within your clients, it only happens when you're spending enough time with them, not necessarily just getting their money and not even going back to find out how they're actually implementing any of the things that you are talking to. It actually requires real knowledge and an understanding of the client in and of themselves, so that you'll be able to actually extrapolate all of these things, the skills that are missing within their business, the self-awareness, that is, causing them to make mistakes in their leadership, and you can actually help them and enhance relationships both at home and at work. Now, wouldn't that be nice for your clients to actually, allude all of those things to your work and to your existence, that because of you, they're actually now starting to, have a fulfilling life and maybe a profitable business. But of course, all of this takes time, and it takes empathy on your part, okay? And you want to look at it this way. Invest a bit of time now to effectively help your clients, and help them become your future friends. Because constantly, look at this. Both of you guys are going to be working together, for a while. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you might as well be making it easier and creating an environment that your clients can really, really get to trust you. And if they can become your friends and can confide in you, I'm not necessarily saying that you now sit in their, divorce issues or things of that nature, but just help them, especially with things that will, be constructive, in their day-to-day endeavors. Okay. And if you all have free time, together, you can literally take them out, maybe for a drink or for lunch or for coffee, and then just find out how you can literally help them. Okay. Like right now, I connect mostly with my clients using Slack, and when they have any issues when it comes to their marketing, they just send me a message. I don't necessarily have to respond there and there, but they know that they have somebody that they have access to who will immediately give them an answer. So they might be writing a bit of copy. They might want me to just glaze over it. They might be, changing or maybe taking photos for their business and everything else. They might send me a couple and say, what do you think of these? What should I say? And that alone just creates a relationship that nobody else can replicate. From the outside, somebody might just think, oh yeah, I'm doing SEO for them, or I'm just doing consulting for them, but I'm helping them with their social media. I'm helping them with their Google ads. I'm helping them, make sense of the internet space around them. What is it that you're doing for your clients that makes them trust in you as the go-to person for just about anything else that relates, within your industry? Like I say, this takes time. But look at it this way. Invest a bit of time now to effectively help your clients and your future friends. Or, have all of the free time in the world later, when your coaching services are no longer wanted. But because you were able to help them, they no longer have to cancel any contracts with you. Have a look at that. Do you know what I mean? Because once you become somebody's friend, why would they want to let you go? They're enjoying all the benefits of being connected to you. I call it access. When people start working with me, you now have access, first of all, to my team, to my knowledge, and I'm constantly reading. Whatever knowledge I can't use within my business, I will impart it onto you. And if you can use it and make sense of it and get some sort of a return, why would you cancel any of the services that we're putting out there for you? You know? I mean, maybe you might say, I don't have time to connect with your clients. If time is really an issue, consider having maybe a fewer clients that you actually know really well than more clients that you're not even able to help enough. You know what I mean? You want a reputation that reflects that you're able to help your clients by literally helping them. Okay, you don't want your clients to go about, searching for a better provider and talking about you behind your back, because that then becomes your reputation. You know, there's an old adage, an adage that comes into play: quality over quantity. You know, because when you get to know your clients personally, you know, you can do it in a number of ways. You don't necessarily have to go out of your way, to get to know your clients, because once you get to understand them, it's easy for you to reach out into the marketplace and pick out a few other people that actually resonate with you and, represent the ideal person that you like working with. Because when you get new customers coming in, that's new ideas, new, innovations that are coming that you can get to learn. All right. At the end of the day, once you do that, once you now start acquiring these new people that you absolutely love working, you're also doing yourself a favor. It no longer becomes work on your part. You're literally doing what you enjoy, helping your friends do and have a healthier existence, and you actually get paid to do that. You know, let me tell you something. Once you have loyal clients and raving friends that talk about your services, you literally have recruited an army of people that does all your marketing for you, on your behalf. You know, this is a key aspect of successful businesses. All right. If you distance yourself away from the clients, yes, you might, succeed in a few years or so, but you distance yourself away from your clients, you're distancing yourself away from the money. Okay. How can you ensure that you have loyal clients and you create, clients that pay, stay, and refer? It's got a lot to do with how you get to know these people, how you build your relationships, because money is actually made through relationships. When you form long-lasting, meaningful relationships, within your business, this now becomes your, the goodwill that your business has. And that is actually a factor that you can put in, towards selling your business. If you're relying on just basic information or maybe some sort of a purchase history from your clients, you probably don't even know your clients well enough, and you certainly won't be building any relationships. And we all know that people buy from those that they know, like, and trust. If you understand who your clients are, if you understand what they're going through, if you understand, what they're actually experiencing at a human level, they would definitely do whatever it is to protect, the growth of your business. I mean, you need to get your clients on a more personal level. That's why you just need a few clients that you charge, you create more products for, instead of having more people that you hardly ever know. You know, you get to know them, from day one. You know, it takes time, for you to get to know them. You want to start with the basics. What do they do? Are they married? Do they have kids? And then from there, what do they want with their life? And then if you can help them achieve that, I think it was Zig Ziglar that mentioned, help enough people get what they want, and you too will get whatever it is that you want. And just build on the information that you have and use it to get to know them more on a personal level. Because once you know somebody at a really deeper level, it's easier for you to actually influence them based on what is the things that actually motivates them themselves. And use your time with them to learn sort of what personality they are and what's their style and maybe what their lifestyle is, and just help them achieve their goals as much as possible. Don't just go in for your consulting, your training, your information, your expertise, and walk away Because when markets turn, or when there's a pandemic or whatever it is, you're usually the first person that they would want to cancel, because they don't have any relationship with you or any remorse if they let you go. And don't forget to also share a little bit about yourself as well, because it's a relationship. There's reciprocity, okay? Don't just be a take person. You give something as well. Because relationships are a two-way street, and it will actually help you to get to know them a lot better. Because if you are the constant, within your business, you can then now know which type of people you can actually work with. Do you love working with people that are married and have got younger kids, or do you want to work with people that have teenage kids so that you guys can connect maybe at school games or things of that nature? Whatever it is that creates some sort of familiarity or some sort of likeness, because like attracts like. So how do you do this? Invite them for a coffee or lunch. I've got a really good and great whiskey collection. It's not because I'm an alcoholic. It's because it's a conversation starter. And if I would then invite somebody, hey, come, let's have a whiskey, and we can get to chat. They get to see my kids, and they get to actually see, how I live, and start comparing with maybe how they would want their life to become. Because obviously that in and of itself gets somebody to really know you intimately. Invite them for a coffee or lunch. If you're not that much into drinking, or if you don't want to maybe invite them to your house, you can invite them to a coffee shop in your neighborhood, and just do something that is not representing work, so that they get to really know you as a person, and focus more on the client's life, than on their business. All right. Half of the time, some people are in business just because it's a means to an end. Okay. What if they actually have other aspirations? What if they have other goals that are not specifically what it is that they're doing within their business? And if you know that, and if you can capitalize that and literally help them start working towards their goals, you would have changed their life. When you meet up with people and they tell you, because of you, I did not give up on my goals, or because of you, I did not give up on my dreams. How much of a validation is that people walk around having implemented on the things that you help them do? Business may come up, but ask about their life, their hobbies, their bucket list, whatever it is that can connect you with other people. Right now, I'm from Zimbabwe, right? And when I first started working in a place called Victoria Falls. Now, in Victoria Falls, it's a tourist destination. Half of the time, people that would have traveled to Africa would have actually gone to Victoria Falls. And I actually use that to my advantage, especially when I meet somebody who's gone there, because now we've got a point of reference. Now we've got something in common. Now it's no longer just, about us as business people or whatever it is. We are now connected at a totally different level that they can't find elsewhere in the marketplace. Draw people in with their interests and their own interests other than their business, and you will actually win a friend. And when it then comes to them deciding who to cancel, when it comes to, things getting hard in their business, guess what happens? They would actually ask you, hey, should we keep going with the plumbing contract that we have? And you can literally be their friend in need, indeed, actually. And if you know certain things outside of business, offer to help them with something outside of work. Maybe it's a task around, their house or whatever it is they're doing. I'm not saying go and start washing their car or anything else. Or maybe they've got a personal project that they're doing. Give them advice on that, or something their family needs help with. They might have kids that are growing up. And if you know exactly how you would have, gotten your kids into certain, extracurricular activities, advise them on that. My kids, if you notice, or if you start getting into any of the stuff that I'm doing, my kids do modeling for catalogs and other really big companies out there. And half of the time, when other parents are trying to find something that their kids are doing, I can advise them on how to actually get started in putting their kids out there. And I've had people coming back and saying, oh my God, look at little Sam is in this catalog. Oh my God, look at little John is in this catalog. And can you imagine the happiness that comes out of things of that nature? Right now, today, 3 days ago, I actually had, one of my clients being featured in the newspaper. Do you know how difficult it is to get publicity, in the newspaper? And I managed to help them get that through my connections. And it's nothing to do with business. It's got something to do with their family life and stuff like that. Now they're sharing it all over their LinkedIn. And guess where that came from? So there's so many other things that you can do if you really know your your clients, and you can literally take this to another level. But the other thing that you actually need to do is, once you've gotten information from people, try and remember these details, because nobody wants somebody who's just an ask hole. You know what I mean? Just asking questions and not doing anything with that information. And this is a really hard part for a lot of people, especially if you're not an empathetic person, actually remembering all your conversations. That's why you don't need to have many of these conversations. I understand that with so many details and tons, of clients to ask and converse with, you just need to understand. And if you have, a way of remembering this information, use a CRM. Okay, pop these details into, a client card that you might have. And the next time you're going to have a meeting with them, just look at their file and then just pretend like you remember all the information that has been asked. So that's why when you ask questions, don't forget to listen. All right? This one is obvious, all right? Right? But it's good to be reminded. When you're getting to know your clients, ask a lot of questions, obviously. And in particular, it's important to ask why. Because when somebody talks about their why, they no longer just give you rebuttal answers. They really go deep down, and asking why and waiting for the answer provides your client with time to have a voice, and helps you obtain all the information that you need. And half of the time when they speak, people love hearing the sound of their voice, and they feel heard, because maybe they're not being heard in the marketplace. Maybe they're not being heard with their partner at home. Maybe they're not being heard at work. And if you become that one person who is their listening, person, you literally would create a relationship that they cannot get anywhere else. What I'm telling you here is something that you already know, but if you can start utilizing it, you literally can start influencing people to do most of the things that you advise them to, and you're actually creating and securing your revenue within their business. I understand, as an entrepreneur, as a coach or a consultant, dealing with clients is just one aspect of running maybe a successful business. You go from hiring and managing new staff, balancing books, you're driving growth, and a whole lot more. And it all feels like it's a constant balancing act. But let me tell you something. If you stop and listen to another person and make it about them, the more you help other people get what they want, you too will get that which you want. And if you start showing interest in somebody else's life, or even if you show interest in your kid's life, you know what I mean? Have you ever noticed when your kids are trying to show you something, they'll be like, Dad, look. And you show interest in that, they just start spinning around, even if they're wasting your time. But the fact that you've paid attention to them, that makes their day. And guess what happens if it's a client? They'll trust you, because now they know you've got their best interest at heart. You're not just that one person who's coming to just grab money off of them and go away and keep charging them and not do anything for them. Your coaching, your consulting, all the sessions will be much more transparent now. You know why? Because now you know where they're coming from. Now you know the reason why maybe certain things are not working. You have actually given yourself so much ammunition in order for you to prescribe whatever it is that you want for them, and they will actually get more results based on the information that you be giving them. And you become effective. And once you're effective and people are getting results, the trust is raised. And that's one thing that makes it difficult for coaches and consultants to really, grow within their businesses, because nobody trusts them. But you can literally become a friend first and become an advisor later. And when a service provider shows more interest in the person, more interest in the business than the client, it becomes clear what they're after. And you don't want your clients to just think you're just after the money. and you'll be easy to be dismissed. All right. Every month, your client is holding, to the light, their credit card statement. Anything that is not filling them with joy, they just Marie Kondo it. They just extrapolate it or take it out so that it's not annoying them. And if you're one of those things, that is causing them more grief than anything else, guess what? You will be axed as well. You will be dismissed, and you won't have the revenue that you are trying, to grow your business with. Let me tell you something, man. Let your coaching or consulting business be marked by maybe a visible interest in your clients' lives, because at the end of the day, that's exactly what it is that you're in business for anyway, to make other people's lives better, all right? So if you're not going to be listening to them, if you're not going to be helping them by actually helping them, how then are your clients going to know that you've got the right solutions for, the problems that they're facing? I can understand you want to spend as much time changing people's lives and solving people's problems, but how can you do that if you actually don't know what it is that they want? You know what I mean? Yeah. So at the end of the day, I'd like to hear what your ideas are around this, because some people find this useless. But if you want our help or my help mastering the art of actually selling to clients that pay, stay, and refer, so you can build a more predictable, profitable, and strategic consulting, coaching, small business, I want you to reach out to me. And guess what we'll do? We'll work hands-on. I'll get to know you as a client, and we'll develop a strategic plan, and then deep dive and work throughout your ideal client clarity, and then set out strategic messaging. And then we'll allocate what your pricing would be, what business model would actually, facilitate what it is that you're putting out there. And in the process, I'll help you set up your marketing engine according to how you love reaching out to people. And you now have a lead generation system to consistently attract these ideal clients that you love working with. I can't wait to help you achieve these goals, especially for yourself. And I can't wait for you to actually be there for your clients, because you no longer have too much on your plate that you don't, love working with. You can't climb the ladder of success with your hands full, and you want to be building relationships along the way. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au